Today I bring to you some more tips for new players in Don't Starve Together. My last video did incredibly well, and I'm proud to say that I want to continue making more content like this in the future. With that out of the way, let's begin. Don't be afraid of the caves. If you have seen my latest Don't Starve video, you'll see that the caves, in particular the ruins housed within the caves, contain plenty of loot. This video is a great look at how to clear the ruins in a method known as the Ruins Rush. You can get all of this great gear incredibly early in the life of a world, so go ahead and check out that video in the cards on the top right, or in the description below. Anyway, besides the ruins, the caves give you access to light flowers, which allow you to refuel lanterns, on top of bunnymen houses for bunnymen farms, additional grass and twigs, and an exceptional amount of rocky turf used for making cobblestone paths. If you choose to ignore the caves, then you're missing out on a bunch of potential resources. Consider crafting magic items. The magic tab, while being a tab that's hard to access, has some rather useful items for you to use. Most notably, the life-giving amulet, dark sword, belt of hunger, nightmare amulet, and bat. There are plenty of useful items here that can have a wide range of applications, but these items are highlights for sure. Life-giving amulets are used to revive the player if haunted by a ghost. Dark swords can provide high damage with a small trade-off of sanity. The belt of hunger can delay starvation, which is particularly useful for all the Wolfgang players out there. Nightmare amulets can be used to provide temporary insanity to farm nightmare fuel. And the bat is a life drain weapon. You can craft the first magic crafting station, the Prestidigitator, with the top hat, 4 boards, and 4 live rabbits caught from a trap. Then you can craft the Shadow Manipulator with 3 living logs, 7 nightmare fuel, and a purple gem. Don't get caught up in seafaring. Sailing the seas of Don't Starve Together has its fair benefits. The Lunar Island is of course a place that exists, granting you access to glass cutters, lunar axes, and much more, in addition to salt formations found on the waters that can be used to make a salt box. Basically a more effective icebox for uncooked ingredients. But what you really have to ask yourself is it worth it? It takes a lot of wood to get a boat going, on top of the anchor, the mast, the wheel, and other boat accessories like light sources and lightning rods. You'll also need a ton of boat repair kits when you inevitably crash into a rock or something. I just wouldn't advise you experiment with boats until much later. There are way more important things to do, like preparing for winter, exploring the caves down below, or even just going around the map. Look into raid bosses. On top of the odd seasonal boss, Don't Starve has plenty of raid bosses, which are intended for groups to fight for massive rewards, despite them being entirely possible, yet incredibly difficult to kill, solo. The main raid bosses are Klaus, Bee Queen, Dragonfly, and Toadstool, and potentially Crab King, but just forget about that guy. These 4 can give you insane loot if you're able to take them out. Klaus gives you access to other boss loots early, in addition to a high chance for a Krampus sack. Bee Queen gives you the recipe for bundling wraps, which allows you to store food forever. Dragonfly enables you to make a furnace for infinite light and heat, as well as fire resistant flooring and armour. And Toadstool gives you fancy lights you can fuel with spores. Slightly less impactful, but still nice to have around a base. Before you think of jumping into these bosses though, they all have very high health bars, but if you'd like to see an interesting and easy way of killing these solo, then be sure to stick around on my channel, as I intend to cover these in the future. Choosing an effective base location. The base location is not the be-all end-all of the world. If you end up basing in a bad spot, you can normally fix it later, but there are some places you want to be closer to, and other places you want to stay far away from. For example, the Mosaic biome has a shower of meteors roughly every 10 days, which not only are dangerous to the player, but can destroy structures. This is more of a reason to not base near here. Additionally, reeds from the marsh and cactus from the deserts are not movable resources, making them more valuable to be near and giving you more of a reason to base near these. You won't immediately know the best spot for your base, as it's usually wise to stay nomadic for the first few hours of gameplay, but a good base spot is normally one out of danger and near hard to find resources. What to build in your base and why. So when you do finally settle down on a place to build, you're going to need to know what to actually get constructed first, right? Well, there are plenty of ways to build your base in Don't Starve, but the main aspects are a fire pit, alchemy engine, chest area, kitchen area with crockpots and iceboxes, a lightning rod, an ice flinger magic for protection, and a number of drying racks to dry meats. You can add turfs on the floor to add some spice, or just some cobblestone in the area if you want it to be more efficient. Don't worry about the base being messy or big. If you really want to, make a small area just to dump items that won't disappear, like swords, helmets, magic items, certain materials, and other pieces of clothing. Finally, Beefalo. If you're looking for winter clothing, extra meat, hound protection, or fire fuel, then these guys can help you a lot. They can be killed pretty much carelessly for a large amount of meat, and they can be shaved at night for beefalo fur, which can be used for winter clothing or fuel for the fire pit. They can also be used as a tanky hound defense, because after a while, hounds will begin to attack anything around them, and beefalo have herd aggression. Just don't try to use them to kill bosses that have an area of effect attack, because they'll most likely just fall pretty fast. But that's basically it for today. Thank you for watching my follow-up video to tips for beginners in Don't Starve Together. If you like this video and want to see a part 3, then be sure to give this a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Links to social medias like the Discord server, Twitch stream and all that will be down below in the description as normal, in addition to my Patreon. If you'd like your name on screen now, then be sure to go follow my Patreon to have a shout out over here. Anyway, my name is Flynny, and this has been another guide for Don't Starve Together. Thank you for watching and take care.